true that Scarpetta had a sister who was on the other side of the law. Instead of dealing in yayo, Scarpetta speaks for the dead as a chief medical examiner in Prime Video's new thriller of the same name, adapted from author Patricia Cornwell's novels. With skilled hands and an unnerving eye, the unrelenting medical examiner Kay Scarpetta is determined to serve as the voice of the victims, unmask a serial killer, and prove that her career-making case from 28 years prior isn't also her undoing. This stars some powerhouse talent with Nicole Kidman, Jamie Lee Curtis, Bobby Cannavale, Ariana deBose, and Simon Baker. Now, Kidman is the titular character, and unlike many of her other recent roles, she has a believable ferocity and tenacity to her that just emits a fiery intelligence. And this series is told from alternating timelines. One from the present, as Scarpetta works a new murder case that mimics a serial that jump-started her career. The other timeline is that original pursuit of the serial killer, featuring a young Kay as she works to establish her authority as the female chief medical examiner in a world that was predominantly a boys' club. For the younger versions of the characters, this stars Rosy McEwen, Hunter Parrish, and Jake Cannavale, which really helps build out a convincing visual of a young Bobby Cannavale. You know, Jake being his son and all. The story is captivating and mysterious, providing gritty imagery and enigmatic details that obscure the cases for us just as much as they do for Scarpetta and her colleagues. But this is also a tumultuous, angry story. There is so much angry bickering and fighting that takes place between Scarpetta and her older sister, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. Both actors are exquisite in their performances. Oh, but man, it's draining to endure the overlapping barrage of insults and teardowns. In these instances, it's also difficult to feel any compassion or sympathy for either of them, effectively turning them into repulsive individuals who are one large headache just wrapped in a shouting match. It's not just the two female leads who verbally go at it continuously either. Just about every relationship in the series is toxic on some level, bringing out the worst characteristics in each at every turn and conversation. Now, at the start of the show, probably for 2-ish episodes, I wasn't sure I wanted to continue. I loved the murder mystery angle, but it was taxing to sit through the squabbling. By episode 3, though, I was hooked by all the questions I had, sucked in and needing to find out if Scarpetta had made a mistake all those years ago, or if there was someone new on the horizon. And because I stuck it out, I do know the answer to that, and it's provided it in a satisfyingly conclusive way. Now, the show doesn't shy away from some of the gruesome aspects of dead bodies, especially when they're laid out on an exam table inside the morgue. While the visuals aren't overly graphic, there are some moments that we get to hear and see bones being cracked and then flesh being peeled back to expose all of the innards of a victim. Now, luckily, these scenes don't typically last long, so if you are eating while watching, it's not going to be too disruptive to your munchies. Now, the season is made up of 8 almost hour-long episodes, and while that sounds lengthy, it flew by. A lot of that is due to how compelling the mystery is. And I say that as someone who hasn't read any of Cornwell's novels, that the character and this story are adapted from. Now, if you have read them, then maybe this is more of a rehashing or even a compilation of arcs that are just mashed together. My not knowing the difference, it was a positive because the reveals for the central mysteries were obscured well, keeping the motives and the perpetrators so close to the vest that they were actually incited. The series definitely weaves the two timelines together in a seamless way, so that the transitions flow smoothly from time period to time period without becoming jumbled or messy. And when the timing is indeterminate, the show places title screens up to just let us know where exactly in the timeline we are, which then removes any confusion and maintains some expediency. Now, I had mentioned that there are a lot of angry exchanges that make the characters sometimes difficult to warm up to. But there are also a few in here that are designed to stir up our ire. Whoa, they nail their goals. Stephanie Faracy plays a character in the medical examiner's office in the present with Nicole Kidman. She meticulously and perfectly captures the nosy, intrusive, and potentially untrustworthy character, making us groan and wish terrible things upon her at every turn. Now, Faracy becomes so effective that just her appearance in a doorway boils the blood. I love to hate her. She is wonderful in the persona she delivers. Now, Scarpetta is a great binge. I have zero clue how much or even if it sticks close to the source material. Regardless of the mysteries enveloping, the characters morosely flawed and intriguing, the suspense and tension are palpable, and the resolution is satisfyingly revealed. Despite hating just about everyone at one time or another, the performances are expertly crafted, building out a complex cast of characters with questionable motivations. And to keep our appetites whetted for a future season, this season ends on a cliffhanger while also concluding the main case. I had a bunch of fun with this, and I could not get to the next episode fast enough. There's sex, nudity, almost nonstop profanity, and then a bunch of violence, including sexual assault. I give season 1 of Scarpetta 4.5 out of 5 couches. So if you read the novels, I'm curious how close or even not that this sticks to them. Also, who's your favorite character of the series? Heck, even who do you love to hate the most? All fair game. Let me know in the comments below. Also, I know that it's pronounced Scarface, not Scarface, but come on, Scarface is so much more fun to say. Anyway, if you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.